Yo, what's going on guys? It's FDR here, and today I'm gonna be talking about 10 NBA players that in my opinion are gonna have a breakout 2020-2021 season. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, because it's not gonna cost you and you're gonna help me get to the bigger audience. So, without further ado, number 1, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was one of the most talked people during the NBA bubble. After finally showing his full potential in playoff battles against Utah, Clippers, and the Lakers, I don't think Jamal is gonna stop and he's gonna have a breakout year in the league. So far in his career, he's been putting up averages of 16, 4, and 4. During the last playoffs, he put up big numbers of 26, 5, and 7 on 50% shooting. If Jamal is gonna play like this the upcoming season, he might establish himself as one of the best scoring guards in the league. Number 2, TJ Warren. TJ Warren is another player who became a sensation during the NBA bubble, even being in the first team of the seeding games. He averaged 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists on 58% from the field and 52% from three-point line. Unfortunately for him and the Pacers, they got to meet the Miami Heat in the first round of playoffs led by his rival, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy used to get into Warren's head before, and he sure did in playoffs by sweeping his Pacers. Although in playoffs he didn't play as good as in the seeding games, he got a lot of credit for what he did in the bubble, and next season he will be able to show that the bubble stunt wasn't a fluke. Number 3, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. was one of the hottest prospects in his class, being top 10 in recruiting class in high school. A lot of people, when he was coming out of high school, projected him to go number 1 in the draft. However, he got injured in his first college game and missed nearly the whole season. He came back to play 2 more games in college before declaring for the NBA draft. A lot of teams were concerned about his health, which resulted in him falling down to the 14th pick. He underwent a back surgery which put him out of action for the entire year. MPJ last season played 55 games, scoring 9 points and grabbing 5 rebounds. However, in the bubble, he went off to average 22 points and 9 rebounds on 55% from the field and 42% from three-point line, which gave him a spot on the all-seeding game's second team. He showed that even after 2 back surgeries, he didn't lose his talents, and hopefully he's gonna play that good in the upcoming season. Number 4, Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr., just like Michael Porter Jr., had to deal with injuries. His rookie year, he got a deep bruise in his right thigh, and last year, in the bubble, he tore his meniscus. Last year, he averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, and also 1.6 blocks per game. He's not only a great defender, but he can also shoot the ball at a high level. Last season, he had 39% from downtown on 6.5 attempts per game. Jaren is most likely to miss the start of the season, but when he comes back, his duo with Jamal can possibly lead the Grizzlies to playoffs, as both have a bright future ahead of them, and Jaren is gonna prove any doubters wrong about Memphis taking him 4th in the 2018 draft. Number 5, DeMarcus Cousins. I decided to include Boogie on this list as this year might be the year where he can redeem himself and show that after all those injuries, he's still one of the best centers in the league. Cousins is the perfect type of player for James Harden and John Wall. Even though Harden wants to be traded out from Houston, I feel like Boogie is a perfect fit for him, as he's a stretch 5 who can fit with both Harden and Wall as the pick and pop threat. Speaking of John Wall, number 6, John Wall. A lot of people might disagree with me putting John Wall on this list, but you gotta remember that this guy tore his Achilles, didn't play a single game in 2 years, and is probably not as fast as he was in his prime. A lot of people are saying that the Walt Westbrook trade was a lose-lose situation for both teams. I think that Houston actually won this trade by just looking at John Wall's first preseason game. Wall looked shifty, he didn't lose his passing touch or passing vision. If John worked on his jumper during the time he was out, we might see even better John Wall than before. But that's only under the condition that James Harden is gonna get traded. James wants to get traded, but there was no good enough offers for Houston to trade the beard. John Wall is most productive when he's got the ball. Usually when he doesn't have the ball, he just doesn't even move and is completely out of play. Number 7. Christian Wood. Christian Wood is the third Rockets player on this list. You might think that I am a Rockets fan and I am being biased for putting another guy from Houston. And it's not true. I just think that all these players are capable of increasing their level of playing the upcoming year. A lot of people are putting Christian Wood as their most improved player for next season. He showed that he's got a lot of potential in Detroit after Andre Drummond got traded. Before the Drummond trade, he was a bench player, averaging 10 points and 5 rebounds a game. But after Andre got traded, Christian finally got a chance to start and he showed his value during a 13-game stretch, averaging 23 points, 10 rebounds on 56% from the field and 40% from three-point line. With John Wall leading the way with help from Wood and Cousins, the Rockets might be a deadly threat for the Western Conference. Number 8. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You might say that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a breakout season last year, and I'm gonna say that he did, but he was led by Chris Paul. Shai managed to lead the Thunder in points per game last season, averaging 19 points per game. But this year is more important for him. Now, with no CP3, no Gallinari or Adams, Shai is gonna be the leader of the team. Thunder are very likely to be one of the worst teams in the league next season, so it's time for Shai to really show his full potential as the star of this team. We're hopefully gonna see what Chris Paul taught Shai Gilgeous-Alexander how to really play as a point guard, and maybe he's gonna elevate to not only be a deadly scorer, but also a field general. Number 9. Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was one of the most hyped players in his draft class, if not the most hyped player. As we all know, his father LeVar is not an ordinary man, but it's not about VAR, it's about Zoe. Since coming to the league, Lonzo didn't come up to the expectations, as during a 3-year tenure in the NBA, he managed to average nearly 11 points, 6 rebounds and 6.5 assists per game. His last season, where he averaged 12, 6 and 7, was definitely his best year so far in the league. He even upgraded his shot percentage from downtown to 37.5% last season. He still has to work on the efficiency, but with Zion possibly playing unlimited minutes, he might not need to shoot that much. Last 4 games before the season got suspended, Lonzo played on a really high level, having averages of 21, 7.5 and 7.5. We all know how bad he was during the NBA bubble, but maybe with him finally being on his own, starting his own brand, Apollo Zoe, maybe we'll finally see Zoe playing like he should be playing as the 2nd overall pick. And staying with the Pelicans, number 10, Zion Williamson. Zion is one of the most talked about young players currently in the league. Zion in both high school and college dominated and wanted to bring this intensity to the NBA. A lot of people were doubting him whether this athletic specimen is gonna fit to today's game, as he is 6'6" and weighing in at 285 pounds. However, he proved doubters wrong, playing great basketball during his limited time on the court. Last year, he averaged 22.5 points and 6 rebounds per game, while only playing about 28 minutes a game. He really showed that he has talent to play in the NBA, and next year, when he's hopefully gonna play unlimited minutes, he's gonna show that the status of a bust is not for him. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day and peace.